Hey guys, the Crew 13 here, back again for another video, and today we're going to be finishing up the railway station. So yeah, without further ado, like and subscribe, and let's get on with the video. So my plan for this video is to finish off the engine sheds, like the cleaning shed areas that we started working on in the last video, as well as shade all the tracks and add the actual trains and stuff, and like fence off the area, just like full complete the area. But first we're going to texture the outside of the sheds. So yeah, let's do that.
I'm on the road again, half drunk with a lit cigarette. I don't know when I'll be back in this town. At least that's what I tell her. Baby, I'm just saying, maybe I just think too much. I'm leaving in the AM. Baby, are you saying? I know that you drank too much. And this is what she said to me. I'm just your ordinary fucker. There's nothing special about me. I still bump like more night when I get drunk. I'm just telling you, I'm not playing you. I just wanna be the real me around you. Real me around you. I'm at the same damn place. She's staring in my eyes with no how give in. I'm wondering if I should walk on over. I said, girl, saw you winking. Tell me what you thinking. Can I get your name? I'm not leaving till the AM. Girl, what you saying? Would you wanna stay with me? And this is what I said to her. I'm just your ordinary fucker. There's nothing special about me. I still bump Ramon when I get drunk. I'm just telling you, I'm not playing you. I just wanna be the real me. Mamacita, let's go cruising back to the hotel, motel, holiday inn. Girl, I forgot where we staying. It ain't funny, girl, I ain't playing. Mamacita, linda, mejor vamos para atrás donde tú vivas. Girl, let's go back to where you staying. I know that you don't fucking hate me. I'm just your ordinary fucker. There's nothing special about me. I still bump Selena when I get drunk. I'm just telling you, I'm not playing you. I just wanna be the real me around you. The real me around you.
Alrighty guys, so this is my this is the texturing I did for the shed. So as you can see, it's textured. It doesn't look terrible anymore. So what I did was I started just kind of making splotches of light, because that's just my habit when texturing. But then I was like, wait, that could be a good idea to have like fluorescent lights up there. And when I turn it to night, I think that looks pretty cool. But yeah, so I'm texturing. So back over here, I have some darker areas, since if you didn't know, the sun is over there somewhere. So yep, and then over here is really dark because it doesn't have the lights on that side, and it's got the trapdoors like I usually do. And then the roof is just plain. It doesn't really get blocked by anything. If I teleport myself to prime sun location and grab myself a spyglass, you can see not really any of the roof blocks are blocked. They're all visible, you know, but over there it's fine, but over there it starts to get a bit dicey. So yeah, but that's how I've been texturing. And then I also took a bit of inspiration from B-dubs with the roof overhang. I decided that they looked a bit too close together when they had the roof overhang going bam bam. So I decided to chop those off before doing the time lapse, and I don't know, I think it looks pretty good. I kept these overhangs just because why not? But I actually kind of like how I made the shadows underneath the overhangs from here. I think it looks really good personally, and yeah. So I think this looks really good. I'm very happy with it. I haven't textured anything on the inside, but I do think it looks alright. I think I'll have the same pattern of fluorescent lights on the inside. That way it'll look good and not just like there's randomly raw iron there. So yeah. But I'm going to do the exact same thing I did for here on all 4 of the other sheds, plus that one as well. I have to also just like make the entire outside. So yeah, I'll see you guys once I'm starting with that.
This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get when you mess with us. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get when you mess with us.
guys, so I finished the time lapse, and then as you can see, I added a couple things, but not much. So I'm gonna do a quick overview. So I textured all of the buildings it's the same as this one. I got some lines for shadow, lines for light, right? Whatever. The lights are making some stuff, and then like this is like the roof is covering it like that, right? So just stuff like that. Textured everything, all nice and good. So now I started making a prototype for the interior. So first of all, this is the fueling shed. So this is each section has 3 braces that do things. So if we start at this end, right, the train comes along the track and it's gonna go in, and first of all, there's soap, and the soap like drips on it and whatever, and it's got all these bubbles, and then it gets like scrubbed with these scrubbers that look like things from car washes. Then it comes under here, and some water washes everything off, and then all the while people are like brushing this kind of, and then it goes under here and it gets dry, and then this connects to a port on the tank, maybe for oil or something, maybe, I don't know. And then this fuels it up with the diesel. So if we go over here to this train is actually straight. So on the other trains there's an observer here, but I didn't put it on this train for some reason. But there's an observer here, and that makes it that's the fuel tank. So that's what the side port is. But then up here on the top, this is what the hopper's going into. So yeah. So then I'm just gonna have 2 separate sheds. And I think I'm gonna have, in order to showcase the entire variety of stuff, I'm gonna have one train up here in the fuel room with it connected here and here, and people maintaining that, and then one train, or like one double train back here, because for some reason they always connect in doubles sometimes. So one train back here that's like going through the cleaning process. But yeah. And so then I have these tanks on the side that are labeled soap and water for the outside, or for the cleaning thing on the inside. And then over here I have like a oil tank thing that's doing things. I don't know. This looks very propane tanky-y, and so I don't really know what it's supposed to look like, but this looks like kind of it. And then for each tank I have like a thing hooked up to it, and like for the soap and water tanks I have these pipes, and they, as you can see, like the soap tank is the first one, right? Yeah, the soap tank. So then it goes out, it goes down into this tank, and then it goes up and it goes into the soap thing. And I made sure the pipes actually do what the pipes are supposed to do, and then same with those ones. But yeah, so I'm gonna get this this building populated with trains, and make sure that they look like they're, you know, in here doing things, getting cleaned. And I'm gonna put some armor stands in here, like with brushes and like holding the fuel nozzle, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'll be back once I have done that. Alrighty guys, I filled the sheds, and I also numbered them, but whatever. So first off, let's check out shed 4. We just have, it's just a blue train, same as that blue train, except this one's number 4, so it would go in that garage right there. But it's hooked up to the fuel pump, and I'm thinking I'm gonna have an armor stand doing something with that. And then it's also hooked up to whatever this is, because that seems like a port for something to go in, maybe coolant, maybe, I don't know, oil, possibly, whatever. So yeah, and then over here it just got wet, so now it's being dried by the dryer fans. So yeah. But then on the other end, I actually have a train getting washed. So this is this is shed 3 and 4. Or 2 and 3, I'm sorry. So this train, it's a double engine, and it goes in and it has the soap dumped on it, and this kind of just like lays on it. It's not that bad. And then these rollers though are spinning it really heavily, and then that makes the the suds and stuff really big on it, and then it gets washed off like that. And then I didn't have the energy to make this entire train like dark, but whatever. But the water like washes all of the stuff like off, and it's like falling on the floor and whatever. And then over here it's getting dried. If only they had like glass buttons, like that would be pretty cool. Like I could just like go and place those around that look like water droplets, but yeah. And then over here it'll eventually hook up to the fuel nozzles. Oh, and also I connected the propane tank. It's supposed to be going whoop in there. So yep. But yeah, so that's pretty much what's been happening over here. I'm gonna start getting the armor stands all sorted. I'm gonna have some armor stands just around doing maintenance, but over here I'm gonna have some connecting the fuel hoses and like making sure everything's okay. And then on the other side, I'm gonna have the same over here, but then also one of them trying to like get all the soap off of the train. Alrighty guys, so I textured the side areas and then I added some armor stands. So yeah. Alright, so first off I'm going to take you through this shed. So there's a guy, he's about to reach for the fuel pump because this train's coming through and it's gonna hook up to the fuel and stuff. And then there's just a bunch of people walking. There's a manager in a suit just checking on things out here. And then back here where the train's getting soapy, there's some inspectors checking everything out, making sure it looks good. And then over here, this guy's brushing off the side of the train. So yeah. And then in the other building, we have some guys checking the valves, and this guy, I think, is trying to repair, or trying to see if everything's good on the brushes, and this guy's setting his brush back. And then there's another manager guy, and then some cleaning crews, and then this inspector guy's writing something down in his book. So yeah, so pretty much everything in here is, I got all the armor stands. Oh, and this guy's checking the valve. But pretty much all the armor stands are in, and this is pretty much all complete besides the gravel on the floor, but I'm gonna do all of that at one like time. So yeah. So now it's time to move on to shed 6 and shed 1. So I'm going to do a time lapse for each of those, doing the same basic texturing and, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, let's get on with it.
On a cobweb afternoon in a room full of emptiness. till the day was gone, and I sat in regret of all the things I've done, for all that I've blessed and all that I've wronged. In dreams until my death, I will wander on in your house. I long to be roam by roam, patiently I'll wait for you there, like a stone. I'll wait for you there, alone.
Alrighty, guys, I wanted to do a quick disclaimer about inspiration. So, this train is the train that I made, but it is heavily based on these two trains over here. I don't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but I'll put the cover of the video and the actual video in the link in the description and the cards. So, yeah, but I based my train off of these trains. So I wanted to do a quick thing on inspiration. So first I wanted to do just a stereotypical freight train. So I tried to build that, but I couldn't. So when I found out that I didn't know how to build it, I googled tutorials, and I found out that most of the trains on that guy's channel are 5 wide. So I did some research, and I found the same guy made a 3 wide train that looks pretty good, and I found a couple cars that went with it. So I built those straight out of the tutorial box, but all the while I was learning how they worked. And then I made changes based on what I thought it needed. So for example, back here, I didn't like how that was shaped and like the stuff that was going on there, so I kind of reshaped it based on the actual train in real life. And then I made like the wheels, I think they look a lot better. I didn't use end rods, that kind of thing. And I decided to use a lot more banners. But the point is, I like evolved the thing. The only thing is the front looks really similar. If you see that versus up here, it looks really similar. The only thing is, I know that I can use structure voids for one. I used item frames, and then I also am able to use banners. So I think mine is different enough that it matters, but I just wanted to let you guys know how I kind of designed this, so it wasn't like, oh, you stole his whole train idea thing, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So now that that's out of the way, let's get back to the video. Alrighty, guys, as you saw in the time lapse, I finished this shed up. So this is the packing shed. So shed 1 is the packing shed. So the train will be able to come through here, and semi-trucks will be able to back into these spots right here, and they can both unload and load things onto the train. And then also there's going to be an area over here for like storing crates and whatever. But yeah. But then back here, there's going to be, I'm going to have like a crane that's going to be able to just take the whole shipping container off of the truck, so that way they can just like put it on the train bed and like large things like that. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do over here. But then over here, I also retextured this. I've decided that I've had way too many time lapses of just doing the same texturing, so I just did this on my own. This is shed 6. This is the salvage shed. And as you can see here, I built this little crane. I'll show what it's based on the screen. But yeah, so what's going to happen is there's going to be a mini game. So the train's going to be able to pull in here, and there's going to be a car right here, and the this crane is going to pick up some scrap and then put it in a bucket. And then there's going to be like a big sliding crane that'll take scrap from that bucket that you control. Um, and you drop that into like you have to sort the scrap based on what it is. Like you have to sort it into like, oh, this is warped metal. Oh, this is metal sheets. This is like that kind of thing. So you don't actually control this. You control a different crane. But I thought it would be helpful to just have this guy here, but even before I started the scrapyard, just because why not? So yeah. So I'm gonna start work on the interior for Shed 1. I think I'm gonna have all of the engines. I'm for right now. I'm only gonna have the engines and like the things that matter in right now. So like in this shed, I'll just have the packing thing and not the engine. Like maybe I'll have the engine, but like you know what I'm saying. Like for example, on this train thing, I'm gonna have a whole thing of cars going off into the distance, and it's just getting cleaned and whatever. But like, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna start work on this. I think I'm gonna texture, and I'm gonna do the thing with the armor stands and get all the crates in and the trucks and all that stuff. So I'll stop in with you guys periodically. Alrighty, guys. I just wanted to say that I added trucks. So I've a red truck with a white container that does not look very amazing. And then this truck with a gray container that I think that looks pretty cool. I have a pack that makes the double slabs look like stone slabs. So, yep. And then also I have an orange container, which I think that looks pretty cool. And the crates inside kind of blend in with the orange, so it doesn't look that bad when I just put banners over it. But like with the white, it's like not even close. So that's why I have these on it. But if we go inside, oh, and also there's the doors. If we go inside, we have the closed doors and then the open ones. I really like how this looks. The open like truck with the like containers in it, and then this one is like the door. Oh, let me boop. This one is like the door of the truck isn't open yet, because there's no tough trapdoors, sadly, so I couldn't make it look cool. And then in here is also things. It's a little transparent on the inside just because I don't know. I didn't want to use spruce trapdoors because a brown container looks dumb. But this is about the closest I could get, so to having a full closed, because a copper trapdoor would look dumb, I guess, because it's not the same color, and I don't know. But crates in here. So now I'm gonna get a bunch of armor stands moving crates around, and then like there's gonna be some spots over here where there's a bunch of crates, and like there'll be like a train coming through here and all that jazz. So yeah, I'll see you once I've like populated this whole area. Alrighty guys, so I finished up the interior for the building. So first of all, I made a train come out here. It looks a little weird. So yeah, but this is engine 1, so that goes down there. But so yeah, so just in case you haven't noticed, I've been numbering these, and 1 through 7 actually go to this one, but then the other ones don't go to that. But yeah, so I have a bunch of train cars, and in here you can see I extended the thing out so that people could actually like walk there. But I've got a bunch of people in here, and then there's the loading docks with the trucks. So there's 1 through 7, and then the same over here, 1 through 7 with the trucks. I quite like the double tough slab, by the way. But yeah, and then we got ourselves the truck insides like I showed you before, and I forgot to give him clothes, but whatever. We have some piles of boxes out here, and this guy's like lifting the strap on one of these to get one of the boxes out. But these people are either loading things into or taking things out of the various trains. This guy's kind of just walking up, but yeah, this guy's kind of like consoling his son about something. He's like, there. Not sure what that's about, but yeah. And then there's more inspectors, and then for some reason, I tried to give this guy khaki pants, but it looks like he's in his underwear, which is a shame because it's perfect because there's the khaki color and then there's the brown up here that makes it look like the belt, but from over here it looks like he's in brown underwear. And yeah, but whatever. So everybody's pretty much carrying boxes. This guy's carrying boxes, that guy's carrying boxes. So everybody's carrying boxes and, kind of just chilling, going back and forth. But the thing of note here is this guy is lifting the strap, but he's turning around to notice this right here, the resin clump on the floor. Because I'm going to make a thing where there's like a train that's full of resin and it tipped over. And I don't know what that would be in real life, like toxic goo or something, but yeah, it would tip over and stuff like that. And so all the security would be coming out and like that kind of thing. But in here there's like little traces of it because the train like maybe wasn't loaded properly or something. I don't know. But yeah. So we have all these people in here in this whole train caravan. So yeah. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the buffers to all of the train track areas. But this area I'm going to extend a little bit because I want to have an area where you can get a crane or a forklift or something loading the entire like backs of trucks onto flat train beds, and then they'll just kind of be sitting over here, so then when a train needs it, it can just kind of back up and take one. But yeah, so I'm going to be adding the train buffers and then also this area over here, planning it at least, and then yeah. So I'll see you once that is done. Alrighty guys, so I finished this little area over here, this little offshoot. So first of all, added barriers. As you can see, I did that kind of over there and over there, everywhere. But the main thing is I now have this loading area for containers. So currently I have these two cars which are using double stacking for the containers. Did some research, that's a thing. So I found these cars are all stacked up waiting for a train to pick them up, and then this car is getting loaded up with containers, which this semi-truck is here to deliver. Candles for the mirrors, by the way. But apparently these cranes can move, so they have wheels and like lights and all that, so that's fun. So I didn't have to like build a whole like structure in the ground, which is nice. So yeah, so this crane was actually a really fun build. It's based on MiJack, whatever. I googled a picture of a crane and that's what came up, so we're building that. So each side has wheels and these shock absorbers with these like mud guards and headlights and taillights, and then same over here. But this, it fits on a bar. Originally I was gonna have it be like that, and then the thing would actually fit in there, but then it was too thick. So yeah, but there's a bar hanging from another bar, and that's where this slides along on. And then I got this this arm, and it uses hanging signs, which I'm pretty proud of the use of that, and anvils and all that. But then also over here there's the cabin, which can raise and lower as the shipping container raises and lowers. And then there's hypothetically a ladder which you could get onto and watch, and oh wow, you're lifting the container, that kind of thing. So yeah, this was a really fun build to make, and I think eventually I'm gonna actually like use command blocks to make it be like, oh okay, lift it over, put it on the train. Oh okay, press the button again, lift it over, put it on the truck trailer. So yeah, that'll be fun. And so I'm gonna keep doing more of the same and just absolutely fill this up with more and more trains. There's I want it to be to where there's not more than like 4 rail ties visible on the ground at a time in between the trains. So yeah, and then after I'm done with that, I'll show you. I was gonna make a Subway Surfers minigame using all that, but I do not have the time, and I'm kind of ready to move on to something that's not this. So yeah, but I'll see you once all the trains are in place. Alrighty guys, so I filled the yard with trains. There's like lots of trains. My main philosophy was that these two tracks right here, since they go all the way through, they get to have like full train engines. So that one's going that way, and this one's coming this way. That's a pretty long one, but yep. And then in the middle are where the train cars are stored. So we have some flatbeds, we have some oil tankers. I probably put that one too close to the track, but yeah, I'm gonna have this one have like resin and stuff like spilling out, and it's gonna be like a toxic waste leak, and there's gonna be a bunch of security guards coming to clean it up. There's like box cars, and there's the container ones, and yeah. So I just filled it up with a bunch of random train cars. So yeah, it's fun. So now what I'm gonna do is to start off, you may notice that all of the tracks have these tough brick slabs in the middle of them. That is because I forgot, but when I originally designed the rail track, the all of the rails had slabs around, like on and around them. So I'm gonna have slabs everywhere, but I gotta like texture that up and all that stuff. So I'm gonna start by just laying down the groundwork slabs everywhere and kind of just cleaning some stuff up and laying out like where I want the parking lot to be over here and that kind of thing. So just laying the groundwork for texturing this entire gravel field. Alrighty guys, so I just capped everything off. Besides that, I need to work on that. I capped everything off with some slabs, just FYI. Around the borders, I kind of just pulled it over here, just like made it kind of go around there, but got some gravelly bits over here. So the next stage is going to my sunspot way up there and deciding where is covered up and where is not covered up by trains. So, or trains, buildings, whatever. And that goes for the gravel, that goes for the like actual ground, right? That goes for the tracks. So I'm just going to darken it, and then I'm going to add texturing like that kind of to it. So I'll see you once I'm fully done with that, because I'm not trying to make a time lapse. Alrighty guys, it's been quite a bit because I've been taking a break from YouTube just for about a month. But my last clip was muted, so I did not yap. But basically, I've shaded almost everything. So we got ourselves the track shaded, the slabs are shaded, the actual ground is shaded, but that's everywhere. So got some good shading over here and there and pretty much everywhere. So that's peak. So my problem with shading right now, all right, is that the shadows are getting longer over time. So you see this, so this truck, the shadow is long, right? That's a very, very long shadow. But as we get closer and closer, not as long of a shadow, not as long of a shadow, not as long of a shadow. That is because if I go to my spot up here, it's because they're getting further and further away from this spot where I'm standing. And so eventually we get problems like this, where the top part of that crane, which is 3 blocks in Minecraft, is that long in the shadow, like in actual shadow. So and like this train is like really long. So I think I'm gonna keep it like that, because even though the real sun would never do that, like that's not how the sun works. But everything else in this rail yard is based off of that sun position. So I kind of have to have that. But I also added a couple extra of the cranes. So they're just kind of chilling there. The cabs are fully lowered down. And then also I added a couple extra semi-trucks. It looks like this one just finished delivering its container. And then this one's pulling up behind it. And I labeled a couple of containers. These are supposed to be like Maersk containers, so you can see that there. So that's cool. I made the resin spilling out of this little guy, so I'm eventually, with the next thing I'm gonna work on, I'll tell you about it a bit more later, is that I'm gonna have some armor stands over here, like the security from the main offices. They're gonna be coming out and be all like, "Oh my gosh, you got stuff spilling over here." So, yep. But everything's shaded. So that's pretty cool. And then I also added a couple things. So first of all, fence. I added a fence around pretty much everything because you're not supposed to be able to get in there right next to the tracks. And so I added fences around there. And this is a public, I almost said car park. I'm not British. This is a public car parking lot. So I didn't really put too much effort into all these cars. I just put like the copy paste template of the same like 3 different types of cars. So you got yourself your sedan, your SUV, and your pickup truck. So those are all like almost exactly the same. Every once in a while I hit you with the domed roof, like these two, and maybe a van every once in a while, and whatever that abomination of a car is, I don't remember making that. So yeah, and then also this one is like a covered thing, and then this is the Pizza Planet truck because yeah, so that's cool. So these are all just like random cars. And I've shaded everything, but I haven't added the highlights. So I think I'm going to add the highlights just like I did over here. I'm going to go around. I'm going to add some nice good light spots before I add all the armor stands. Alrighty, guys. So I've pretty much finished up texturing everything. So let me walk you through this. So first of all of the lights are done. I put those pretty much everywhere besides there. I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, so the main problem I have with this right now is that it's just flat and boring, but I guess that's how real life just gravel roads are, so and I'm keeping it. I shortened down this shadow because I thought it looked better, and then also I added some shadows under here, so that's pretty cool. Then also, I'm going to add some shading under the fences, but, you know, I think they look alright for now, so I'm just going to leave them, but they are going to get shaded at some point. But, so the next thing that we're going to do, the very last thing, is just to add some life to the area. So, I've started by adding this control station, so it's got some shading behind it, right? So that's fun. But this isn't actually going to do anything, but this is meant to be controlling this. So I'm going to texture that so it doesn't look just like flat and tough and gross and icky. So, yeah. So I'm going to texture that, and then also I'm going to add just armor stands everywhere, like people getting out of cars, people walking on the bridge over here, people, I don't know, walking around outside, just walking, I guess, people... Like, maybe there's a guy helping to unload the trucks, and a guy in the crane, and a guy getting into his crane over there. Like, just, like, random stuff. Like, security getting rid of the stuff over here. So, just, you know, just random stuff. And then, also, the scrapyard area. I'm going to take a break from this project for a bit, but the scrapyard area is going to be eventually a thing. But for now, I'm going to finish this and then stick to other projects before I move on to that. So, yeah. But yeah, so I'll get back to you once I'm completely done with the armor stands and the turny spinny thing that spins the spinny thing. So, yeah. Alrighty, guys. So, I've gotten a couple things done. So, first of all, I spread a couple armor stands around the place. So, for example, over here, this guy is operating the thingy that controls the spinny thing. And the spinny thing is textured, by the way. So yeah, so then there's these couple guys, and just, you know, I sprinkled a couple people around. The main highlight is if we follow this security guy over here. This if we follow this security guy, there is this like spill, and so this guy's like laying out some caution tape, and everybody's coming over finding a way to deal with this like resin spill. So that's pretty cool. But other than that, there's not really that much. One more thing I wanted to highlight on, however, was these guys, the crane operator. I really like how their vests turn out. So I used an orange, I just dyed a leather armor chest plate thing orange, and then I applied emerald and the bolt armor trim to get the like cross vest thing. I don't know, I think it looks pretty good. There's one more thing I want to talk about before I end the video, and that is this table. So when we first made this office building, I wanted to have a model of the Railyard, and I've actually started work on that. I'm not going to finish it this episode. I'm going to just finish it in my personal time. So if I just slap an armor stand right down there, pose him like that, and then name him invisible, and then give him this. There's now a fully fledged model on the table. I'm gonna have to work on getting it lower and just, you know, actually painting the rest of this. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good so far. This is inspired by, I think, my airport where I live. It has a model of the airport just like in the lobby area where anybody can walk in. Or like when my nana would fly in, she lives in a different state, so she'd use the airport a lot. And so when she'd fly in, while we were waiting for her, I'd always look at the model. So that's kind of what this is meant to be. But yeah, I've got all the rails, I've got all the buildings. I just gotta like actually texture these and make them look good. So yeah. But yeah, with that, I think that's gonna be it for today's video. I'm so sorry for the length of time between videos. But yeah, if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.